Hello everyone, ما حنطول عليكم بعد. Like some of you might know, نحن كلب ال IEEE of the Lebanese University Faculty of Sciences فنار. هدفنا نساعد الطلاب كرمال يكتسبوا technical and soft skills and help them advance in their career. I want to introduce our committee. أنا Gabriella Shibley chairperson, هارود توبجان vice chair, منصور عاد secretary, Maribel الكهف treasurer, Elidina webmaster, and our branch advisor Dr. Marie Nawal Sabra Jmayel. Tonight's topic, we will be discussing immersive technologies and dive into virtual and augmented reality with our speaker, Dr. Walid Karam. Dr. Walid is a university professor and accomplished digital transformation expert with experience in ICT consultancy and has expertise in assessing systems, networks, and knowledge management studies, as well as improving educational processes using ICT. Dr. Walid has served as a technical advisor to the Lebanese Minister of Telecommunication through delivering reports, studies, assessments, and proposals to contribute to decision-making in the ministry. Dr. Walid has a BE in Electrical Engineering from Georgia Tech and a PhD in Telecommunications from Telecom Paris Tech. Dr. Walid is currently the chair of IEEE Computer Society Lebanon chapter and past secretary of IEEE Lebanon section back in 2019 till 2022. Dr. Walid, الساحة إلك.
Thank you. بتفضلوا احكي purely in English ولا English plus Arabic؟ كيف الاودينس بتاعكم؟
بفتكر كل اللي معنا بيحكوا عربي. يمكن في حدا شخص داغ روبرتو. Do you prefer if we speak in English?
Yes,
Okay.
English shall be fine. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. So welcome and thank you for hosting me today in this presentation. Something that I like to present normally. It's not going to be technical. It's going to be you know, concepts and ideas and probably future prospects. So I will start with an outline. I will, you know, in academia, we like to do a lot of definitions. So what is virtual reality? What is augmented reality? We will take a look at the market sector applications and who's using these technologies. What is the metaverse? And mixed reality, which is the intersection between the two. Spaces and tools used today, and we'll talk a little bit about NFT and blockchain, and then we will come to a conclusion at the end. Okay, so I will start the session by asking a question. What is the first word that comes to your mind when you think about AR, VR, and the metaverse? What you can do is here you can scan this QR code and answer the question. Just write one word. Should I allow some time for you to try it? Okay, so somebody is already typing. So the first word that comes to your mind when you think about AR, VR, and the metaverse, just one word. The future, okay. Okay, I would like to see all participants writing something. Digital twin, full immersion. Okay, I like that. Facebook metaverse, okay. Anybody else is still typing here? Let me see more responses. So somebody said the future. Do you really think this is the future? I like this session to be more interactive, so feel free to unmute and respond. Okay. So anybody else would like to respond here? Just 4 responses. طيب. Okay, how about this? Have you used AR, VR or the metaverse before? Okay, so yes, that's one person. Yes, so we need more interaction. إذا هيك نبلش القصة يعني I would like you to be present and do some interactivity here. So we have, I'm assuming.
Dr. Walid, from the phone, I cannot scan the QR code. There's no link or something. We can go to the same page.
Well, you can go to slido.com. You can go to slido.com and type the code that you see in front of you. That's another way of. So 60% have used the metaverse before, and 40% no. 5 participants. باقي حدا معقولة؟ Okay. So I will move on. طبعا ناخذ كثير وقت عليهم. Okay, so in the metaverse, you could probably visit places in time that are not possible. Imagine yourself transported back in time to the streets of ancient Rome, where you can walk and see the commerce, you can watch a fight and see how people used to live in ancient Rome. This is, believe it or not, possible on the metaverse. How could that be possible? Because if somebody designed that place and place it on the metaverse, and if somebody puts a lot of details in it and a lot of personalities in it, avatars, which could be very much realistic, you could actually live the moment. Imagine you walking on the surface of Mars. That's not possible today, even though there's a lot of missions. But it's not possible for the common person. But it's possible on the metaverse. If somebody designs Mars on the metaverse, you could actually do a visit and with all the atmosphere that you can feel, the surroundings, the effects, and all of it. Virtual meetings and collaboration are possible today due to the metaverse, due to AR and VR. Actually, they're more realistic than the Zoom meeting that we're having today. And the Zoom meeting that we're having today, we can hear each other, we can interact to a certain extent, but possibly not being very much immersive in our experience. So we can still see each other, but we don't feel like we are in the same room. With a VR environment, we can look at each other in the eye and discuss matters with more immersion or a more natural way. The gaming industry and the entertainment industry has invested a lot of money in AR and VR technologies because I mean more and more people are using these technologies, and they would like to be those games to be more immersive, and there's a lot of money involved in this actually. In fact, we're talking about millions of dollars here. The healthcare industry is already using the technologies, not only for education and for learning and teaching, but also for diagnosis and for operations, remote operations. AR and VR in education and training, this is a normal step of using the technology where you can actually observe and experiment and more effectively by using those technologies in all fields, I should say, in all engineering fields, in software and mechanical engineering and in construction, civil engineering, and others. AR and VR in real estate and architecture. Actually, this has been used more and more, where you can show your client, if you are an architect, you can show your client details of the building that you have conceived, and you can probably do a virtual visit inside the building and guide your client into the tiniest details, change furniture, the colors, the walls, move doors around to make the client pleased about the design. Here, I would like to show you a small video of a Lebanese company, actually, that has completed and it was exhibited at Balamand in our last Grand Tech Day last Saturday. Let me try to pull that video off my screen, and I'll show it to you in a moment. I'm not sure if you see anything other than my presentation.
Yes,
if you do,
only the presentation.
It's only the presentation. Okay. Well, let me try to see if I can. Okay. So I need to, I guess. I'm sorry for this, but I have to learn how to do a quick sharing of things. I guess I have to share the entire screen for.
Yes, maybe try to stop share and you can see
I did that, and then I will share my, let me see, how do I do the entire screen? Entire screen, here we go. That doesn't allow me for some reason. Okay, I'll share that video and then I'll come back to the presentation now. What do you see now?
Your Zoom screen.
My Zoom screen. Okay. Okay, let me see. So this is a walk into a design section. The audio is not important, but this is a walkthrough around an apartment. Yeah, so this was designed here in Lebanon, a company called Altered, which we had the opportunity to have them on stage in our last meeting at Element. So let me go back to sharing my PowerPoint. Okay, so we're back to the presentation. Okay, so we talked about various industries using AR and VR today. Probably architecture is the industry that does use those technologies the most. But in fact, AR and VR are used in manufacturing and engineering also. AR and VR are used in retail and e-commerce. Imagine that you would like to buy a piece of furniture. You can place it right there in the corner of your living room and check to see if it fits your place. You can try, this is actually an app from Nike, the very well-known sports brand, where you can buy tennis shoes and try them virtually before you buy them online. So this is one of the things that Nike has developed recently and has gained market because of that. AR and VR are being used in tourism and hospitality, where applications in cities and smart cities are being developed to guide tourists around the city and give them information as they walk through the streets. AR and VR are also being used in automotive and transportation industries. Applications for, on the right-hand side, you can see an engineer developing the gears and the wheels of the car and observing the effects of changing certain parameters. On the left-hand side, you can probably see a augmented reality application in this case, where you can see guidance on the street directly from your window. AR and VR is also being used in military and defense applications to train soldiers or to actually do risk estimate, for example, in this case. So simulations on a certain attempt or a war can be easily done in the immersive environment. So in fact, what is virtual reality? And we will here we will have to distinguish between virtual reality and augmented reality. So virtual reality is actually computer-generated simulation or recreation of a 3D environment. It can be used by an individual through the use of specialized equipment, such as the headset that you see here, the VR headset. It is designed to immerse users in a virtual world that can be similar to or completely different from the real world. And the example of the apartment that you saw, you probably have noticed that there's a lot of quick movements in the scene. That's because the person who's wearing the headset is really moving or shaking his head in a fast way. Okay, so this is really all seen inside the headset. Whereas augmented reality in this case is actually overlaying some digital information on top of the real world. You could overlay information, images, videos, or 3D models, and give you information on top of your surrounding. In a virtual reality environment, you are completely moved out of the real world and you are transported into a virtual world. Augmented reality on the opposite side is actually you are in your physical space, but you have information on top. This enhances the perception of reality by blending virtual elements with a physical environment. It allows users to interact with both the real world and the digital content simultaneously. So here's the difference between the two, AR and VR. So mixed reality, in fact, is the mixture of the two, where you combine elements of both VR and AR to create immersive and interactive experiences. So you would be wearing a special glasses, pair of glasses, or maybe a special headset that will allow you to see your environment, the physical environment you're in, but you would be on top of that seeing the virtual environment at the same time. Mixed reality allows users to interact with both virtual and real-world objects, merging the physical and digital realms seamlessly. Okay, but in fact, when you're wearing the mixed reality headset, you remain aware of the actual surroundings as opposed to VR, where you're completely transported to a different space. So what are the devices? The recent device released actually last Wednesday, the Meta Quest 3 from the company Meta that owns Facebook released a new version. The Meta Quest 2 has been around for a couple of years, but this new device is an upgrade, new version with more capabilities, more memory, more CPU power, and additional features. The Meta Quest 3 has a tag price of about $400, $450, or even $500 in some markets. Now, the newly announced Vision Pro by Apple is actually, it's been announced only 2 days ago. That's on Monday, but it's not released yet. The announcement came as, as an announcement for the industries to start developing applications for it. That's what Apple does normally. So now the AR, VR industry developers are being provided with toolkits or application development environments to start developing their applications. The target date of release of this device is end of the year, around Christmas. That's what I've been reading about this. And the tag price, imagine, it's going to be about $3,500. It's a very expensive device. As usual, Apple has always its own things. Okay, so now what is the metaverse? We've talked about AR and VR and MR, but what is the metaverse? It's a virtual universe or a collective of virtual shared spaces where people can interact with each other and with digital entities in real time. In fact, the metaverse is a space that uses AR and VR technologies. I should say maybe VR technologies more than AR. It expands beyond traditional virtual worlds and has various forms of augmented reality as well. Users can explore, create, socialize, and engage in a wide range of activities. You can imagine the metaverse is an extension of social media, current social media platforms, such as Facebook and Twitter and all the others. But it's more immersive, it's more realistic, okay? It has more dimensions. Can I use the metaverse now? Well, yes, people have been using the metaverse, but it's still in its infancy. It's too early to get the full experience of the metaverse. More activities and other possibilities will become available in the coming years. My anticipation is that it's going to take about 6 to 7, maybe 8 years to have the full power of the metaverse in place. What can you do in the metaverse today? Well, you can customize your avatar. You can create VR experiences. You can invest in digital real estate. People have been buying properties on the metaverse. You can collaborate with co-workers. You can hold a meeting, or you can work on a project in a meeting place. You can meet and make friends, so socializing. You can shop, you can buy stuff. So there are stores on the metaverse, actual stores where you can buy actual goods to be shipped to you later to your home. You can play VR games. Games is the traditional VR application. You can invest in NFTs, and I will talk about NFTs in a moment, but people have been talking about NFTs for a while now. You can sell in game assets, you know, if you are a gamer. So this is a big thing. You can buy and sell game assets, develop and design products in 3D, and more. So these are the traditional applications that you can do today, but with limited, capabilities. And this is mainly or primarily due to the limitations in the equipment that we have, and also in the networks. So you really need a very fast internet to have a good experience with metaverse.
Doctor,
No.
we have some questions.
Sure, yeah.
Dr. Marina
sorry, I'm
Nawal
not-
asked, how are they technically created? And what are the psychological effects of overusing metaverse applications? Were they studied?
Okay, so how are they technically created? I will talk about this in give me a few slides later, and I'll be showing a few things on that. Okay, what are the psychological effects of overusing metaverse applications? Were they studied? I don't know. I'm not an expert on studying the effects of psychology. Definitely, I would say that the same effects of overusing social media platforms would have the same problems on the metaverse. I anticipate that this is really a subject.
I expect it would be much worse.
Maybe, maybe, yeah. Yeah, but
because they're really immersed in their own world. So the side of socializing and so on, it would be, I think, very bad for our societies. That was my issue.
Yes, there will be issues, definitely on that. Already there has been issues with the limited capabilities that we have of the metaverse today. But already we hear about stories of suicide and stories of bullying and stuff like being raped on the metaverse. It's ironic, but I mean, you hear stupid stories like that. But yes, for kids, it has some effects on their mental health. I anticipate. But again, I'm not an expert on this topic. But it's definitely worth studying and observing. Okay, so did I answer this part?
Yes, thank you.
Since we're doing that, would you like to, anybody else would like to ask a question here? Okay, so what is the metaverse then? Where is the metaverse? I'm going to show you only a few of the spaces already available. Second Life. Second Life, I've used it like maybe 10 years ago, or maybe 15 years ago when it was just being released, even before the term metaverse was coined. Second Life is a virtual world platform that allows users to create, explore, and interact with a vast virtual environment. I think I still have an avatar on that space, but I've never used it for a long time. Okay, so it's old. It's launched in 2003. It's still around, even though there's not a lot of hype on it, but some people are still using it. Okay, so you can do different activities, build your own virtual properties, create and sell virtual goods, engage in virtual commerce. All I did on Second Life a long time ago is just to walk and look around and see what's there. But I never engaged in any other activities. And then I lost interest because the internet was not fast enough to really walk around and explore and see all the details. And in addition, I didn't have the Oculus, or the Oculus did not exist back then. So you just have to watch everything on your flat screen, which is okay. But it's not as good as an experience of a VR. So that was, I would say, version 1.0 of the metaverse. Obviously, the Meta, the company Meta, that is Facebook, and actually Mark Zuckerberg has done a a marketing twist of changing the name of his company from Facebook to Meta, maintaining the Facebook brand name as only the social media part of it. But Meta, he's borrowed it from the term metaverse, okay? And people now believe that the metaverse is Meta, but that's not true. I mean, he's only using that name Meta, and but he's offering different things on Meta, on the Meta platform. One of them is called the Horizon Worlds. That's the most used one. It's a virtual world platform where you can create your own environment. There's also Horizon Venues, an event platform, and Horizon Work Rooms and virtual offices. And all of these can be accessed through the Meta's Oculus Quest headsets. And the one that I showed you a moment ago, the Oculus Quest 3, version 3. So this is the Meta story. Another important and interesting metaverse space is called Decentraland. Decentraland is a 3D virtual world platform built on the Ethereum blockchain. Actually, this is where people buy, you can buy, it's not where but you can buy and sell NFTs or NFT real estate. So you buy property, you sell property using the mana coins. Okay, so on decentralized, then the currency is called mana. Avatars can navigate the virtual world, socialize with other users, participate in events and activities, explore various user-created experiences. So it's very much like any other metaverse environment. But this one is being used more and more. It's gaining more attention among metaverse users. Okay, so another one is called Sandbox. This is a community-driven gaming ecosystem where users can create gaming experiences that can be minted as NFTs eventually. So you can gain or create NFTs on the Sandbox. It has its own crypto. It's called Sand, which is backed on the Ethereum blockchain as well. Another environment is called the NVIDIA Omniverse. It's a real-time graphic collaboration platform for 3D design professionals. So this is not for socializing, but it's more of a professional space. You can create 3D objects and other stuff for collaboration. Another space is called Spatial, where you can create your own space on the metaverse. So this is an environment that allows you to create your own space in very easy steps. And this is also gaining a lot of interest and gaining grounds, and more users are having presence in this space. It empowers the users to leverage beautiful spaces. So they have already set up pre-existent spaces where you can select objects and create your own environment. NFTs. So we've talked about a selection of those spaces, those metaverses. But there's more actually. But I talked about important ones. Let's talk about an NFT. An NFT. What is an NFT? So NFTs are being used and traded on typically on the metaverse. An NFT is a non-fungible token. Non-fungible means that it's non-transferable in the sense that, and this is a bit a confusing thing. If I have $1 bill and you have $1 bill, if we exchange the dollar bills, okay, so you don't lose anything, I don't lose anything, because they are fungible tokens, which means they are exchangeable, okay? Whereas if I have a dollar bill that is signed by, I don't know who, Bill Gates, for example, to me, it has more value because, I mean, it is signed by somebody who's, you know, a public figure. Non-fungible tokens are typically pieces of art or tokens that have values for to certain persons. Like it may have a large value to you, but I may not gain any interest in it. It's like much like paintings. Okay, so sometimes a painting may get value beyond imagination, millions of dollars. Okay, simply because it has, I mean, some artistic value to some people. So what is an NFT? It's a data file actually that has a unique digital identifier recorded on a blockchain. Okay, so it's simply a data file and it has an ID, it has a code, and it has a presence on the blockchain. I will talk about the blockchain in a second. It is used to certify ownership and authenticity. So if I have an NFT, okay, the blockchain will certify that I am the owner of this NFT, nobody else. So I can own multiple tokens in that regard. It cannot be copied, it cannot be substituted or subdivided. Okay, and the ownership of an NFT is recorded in the blockchain. It can be transferred by the owner, allowing NFTs to be sold and traded. So I may sell it to somebody else who will own it, and I will no longer have ownership or can claim ownership for it. Okay, so most expensive NFTs that have been sold in the past, this one here, it's the author of this NFT is called Beeple, that's his name on the metaverse. So Beeple has created a digital artwork on daily basis for 5,000 days. So over 5,000 days, that is about 13 years maybe. He created one single piece of digital art. Okay, and he placed it on the blockchain. And then after all these years, after 5,000 days, he collected them in one NFT, one piece of art, which is shown on the left-hand side. And then he managed to sell it to at the Christie's marketplace in 2021 for 38,525 Ethereums. That is $69 million. That piece of art. Okay. Actually, the image that you see on the right-hand side on top is one of those 5,000 images. So it's somewhere in that image. So that's the most expensive NFT in history. The second one is by Pac, somebody called Pac, and he wanted to help Julian Assange. I know you probably know the guy. So Pac is an NFT artist, and he sold this NFT that you see on the left-hand side, 1,035, which is the clock that Julian Assange maintained on his days of capture or being in prison. Okay, so he sold it for $52 million. And there are plenty of examples of NFTs being sold for a few dollars and others for thousands and maybe for millions as well. But these are the two most expensive NFTs ever sold in history. What is a blockchain now? For those of you who are teaching or if you are a student learning databases, this blockchain is actually a distributed, it's a type of a distributed database or a ledger where every transaction is recorded. Every transaction, every movement of data is recorded. That's why if I own an NFT, now the transaction when I bought this NFT is recorded. So the predecessor or the previous owner of this NFT is very well known. And if I sell it later, also that transaction will be recorded. So it's a distributed database where it's recorded on on the cloud, on the internet. So there's no way that these transactions can be erased or removed. That's why the ownership is permanent. So the idea of a blockchain makes it possible to exchange anything that has value, whether it is a physical item or something less tangible. So I'm talking about the blockchain because the entire concept of NFTs, which are being traded on the metaverse, everything is built on the blockchain. That's why it's important to discuss these conceptual ideas or these technologies when we talk, every time we talk about the metaverse. So you as students or as persons interested to start a journey in the in AR and VR and possibly learning more about the metaverse, where do you start? What do you do? Okay, so what you need is, first of all, you need to learn the technologies, okay? Or maybe not all the details, but at least start knowing more about the technologies and explore educational resources about these topics. You need to acquire a piece of hardware. Maybe you need the Oculus or maybe other forms of it. So there are some hardware devices already available for AR and VR, but you need also some software. I will talk about software in the next slide. You need to practice and create projects. So you need to start creating a first metaverse space on one of the spaces that I showed you before. Start collaborating with peers, meeting people, definitely not for socializing, but for development, for creating applications, for creating maybe your own startup on the metaverse or business. Attend AR, VR events and conferences, such as this little, this one that we're having here as a small conference. Seek internship or volunteer opportunities. I know there may not be plenty in this country, but in the Gulf region and Dubai and other places, I'm sure you can find a lot of opportunities in the area. Showcase your work. If you develop something related in AR, make sure that you show it to people. Make sure that you post it on social media so that people know that you are a developer in this domain, or you are a buyer or a seller, so that people know about it, because there's a lot of needs out there. And stay updated and follow industry news as well, as things are being evolving on daily basis. Okay, so just a few questions here to see how you understand these topics. So what is a popular AR VR software tool or product environment you've heard of? Anybody knows of any software tool that is useful developing AR or VR applications? Unity, yes. Anything else? Google. Google, that is a company, not a product. Unreal Engine, yes, thank you. More. Okay, nobody else is typing. Okay, so it looks like Unity is a winner here. Unreal Engine also is another winner. Okay, anybody else is typing? Okay. Okay, so here are some of the popular software tools that are being used today to create the spaces and to create this whole ecosystem of the metaverse. Somebody mentioned Unity, that's the leading product, obviously. Unreal Engine, Maya, AR Core, AR Kit, and some software tools available for some products like the Samsung Gear VR software that comes with it, the HTC, iOS, Cardboard, and others. Okay, so this is a collection of some of the tools that that are found useful. As a conclusion to what we've discussed so far, the AR and VR in the metaverse offer a vast array of transformative possibilities and experiences. So these technologies have the power to reshape industries, and they are reshaping industries, redefine human interaction, and unlock new realms of creativity. Okay, people are creating digital arts. That's new. Needs few more years to mature. Okay, so until time comes, we need to be ready technologically. We need to develop our skills to know how to create spaces and be creative. Together, we can forge a path towards a more immersive, connected, and extraordinary world. Okay, so now we have a quiz, a quick one. I would like also some interactions. Which of the following is an example of a metaverse platform? Okay, nobody answered. Was that too fast?
Yes, a bit.
Okay, let's try it again. Okay, so we have here Facebook Horizon is a correct answer. Okay, so 6 out of 7 have gotten the correct answer. Let's try another one and be ready for 30 seconds. Is it 30 or 15? Okay, so the correct answer is Facebook, correct. Okay, so RK is, well, I'm sorry, Gabriella, number 1 with 8, 8 seconds. Good. What is the term used to describe the ownership and exchange of virtual assets using blockchain technology? Okay, everybody has done it right, but there will be a winner, the one that answered with the shortest amount of time, who is RK. 16 seconds. Well, that's, is that a split of a second, or I assume? Which industry has extensively used VR for immersive gaming experiences? Entertainment, that's correct. Absolutely correct. And Gabriella is number 1. What was the most expensive NFT ever sold? Okay, everybody's got that. Okay, and Gabriella. Okay, so I think we should be well. Okay. So yeah, scoreboard. Gabriella is number 1. 4 Thank you very much. You are a winner, and I don't have prizes. Thank you. Now we can you can ask questions here, or you can put them in the chat as you wish. Any questions from the audience?
Feel free to unmute, guys.
Please do that.
Dr. Walid, can you explain a little bit how these are programmed, how could students prepare themselves for this future? What should they start? What are the steps to be ready to this technology?
Yes, as I mentioned, you need to get, first of all, one of the development environments, such as Unity, for instance, to create VR environments. You need to join one of the spaces and put your environments. You put your development there. You need to collaborate with others. I mean, you can't work alone because I mean it's a large. Normally, these are large projects. Typically, if you're talking about, for instance, in architectural space or a building, you need an architect, you need an interior designer. So you need to collaborate as a developer with other stakeholders in the business to create an environment of interest. So I propose that students will get to learn more about Unity as a development environment. So Unity is a starting point. And you can also create an account on one of those spaces and see how you can create your environment.
So it's the usual, like the front end, back end programming, or there's something more to it, like graphical and stuff?
Yeah, it's more graphical, and but there's no, I mean, the back end, it depends. The back end, if you are on a real space, I mean, the back end is there. Okay, you're not going to create your own complete environment. You're going to be hosted somewhere. So you create a small space in a large metaverse environment. So typically, I mean, these universes, I should say, or metaverses already exist. So you create your own space based on some guidelines they provide you, some API they have, and you use your imagination to place things in the proper locations. So there's a lot of artwork here to be done.
So it doesn't need a programmer to do it. That's what you're saying.
You do need a programmer if you need to offer services like I don't know. It depends on the business model that you have. So a programmer, you may need to use I don't know, some external database to make records of purchases and transactions. Okay, and you need to learn how to interact with the blockchain in order to store tokens on it. So yeah, there are tools for those as well.
Another question about the blockchain. When you say that these are really stored and you are buying and selling stuff on the internet, and then you hear about a virus or a hack getting to bank accounts, how sure are you that the hacks won't go and mess everything up in the blockchain one day and everything gets lost? Because they're saved on one server, aren't they?
Sorry, it was not clear. Can you raise
I'm
your
sorry.
voice?
We are talking about the blockchain and we are saving our information and valuable programs on the blockchain. And in parallel, we are hearing about hacks that get into bank accounts. So how sure are we that the blockchain won't get to be hacked eventually?
Well, I think the blockchain is more secure. It's more secure than traditional databases because it's all encrypted. And you know, encryption these days are 256 bit encryption or even more. And so they're highly secure and they're replicated all over the world on the cloud. So if anything happens in one of the servers, it is restored immediately. So the blockchain is a connected system with proper tracking. Okay, so I never heard of any hacking happened on anything on the blockchain, unless, well, I've heard of stories people losing money on the blockchain because they lost their passwords. Nobody can retrieve them. Nobody. That's how they are secure. That's how much they are secure.
So I have to begin by securing a place for our passwords first.
Yes, definitely. You have to have a proper way of storing your passwords, making sure that you don't lose them, because if you lose a password of a Bitcoin, you lose that Bitcoin permanently. Nobody can retrieve it. It's all encrypted. Okay, any more questions from the students? Okay, they're too shy.
Yes.
Dr. Carol, would you like to say anything in this regard? Gabriella, yes, go ahead.
Yes, عم بقول إنه ما شكله حدا عم يسأل بقى أسئلة.
Well, I hope that was useful. I mean,
Yes, thank you, Doctor, for the beautiful presentation. Well, I hope everyone did enjoy it. يعطيك العافية.
well, thanks for everybody for attending, and I look forward to future encounters.
Yes, definitely.
Thank you, Dr. Walid.
Thank you,
Carol.
Doctor.
Thank you.
Have a great night.
Same
Same
to
to
you.
you. Bye.
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 Thank you,
Bye.
doctor. It was very helpful.
Thank you.